for all of you in HR, because we've heard again and again this entire weekend, you're on the forefront, aren't you? You are the forefront of making a change in your world. You're reaching a lot of people in their lives. And look at what simple ways you can help them. Because as we know, when people come to work, they're also bringing their family with them half the time. So even though you can't see them, they're there. And finding the right tools to help people be in the space of where they are allows them to enjoy their work more and know that everything will be okay, right? So let's hear from one or two more people. Raise your hand or I'm coming. There you go.
So initially, as you said, that we need to imagine the clouds or nice weather. So I started to imagine that, and I felt a little light, like all my problems are just going away, and I'm imagining a happy state where I'm just relaxing, and everything is falling in place. So it was very nice. And when you said you need to come back, so I realized that I had some problems initially when I was a little stressed at what we need to do in future. Now I feel a little light that, yeah, it can be done. Great.
Every little bit helps, doesn't it? That's great. Thank you so much. Who else? Okay, I'm coming to the back row. I can hear it. You're speaking out loud.
Well, it's like you recharge the battery of a mobile phone. So you have recharged yourself and you're back to full energy.
That's a beautiful way to say it. That's why we like calling it power up. Want to power up? You know, because sometimes even people say, oh, I want to meditate. Seems kind of like, what do you mean? It's the middle of the day. No, power up. Want to power up? Want to recharge? Yeah, I do. And I like it. And it feels good. And that way, too, when you're blowing up at work, take a walk. Put headphones on, play it. By the time you get back, you're ready to get back to work and you've gotten inspired and you have all new ideas. This is what I do myself. You know, I have this 2 o'clock thing that happens, and at 2 o'clock, I'm kind of exhausted, and so many things have come in, and if some are difficult, but if I do a 5-minute meditation, I know exactly what my priority is. And I have new ideas of how to deal with it. I get lost in priorities otherwise. Too many things start happening, right? So this is really a great way to do it in the middle of the day.
I realized that I could stop thinking, because most of us probably today don't know where, when, and how long do we need to stop or shut off, even if it's for a while. It did help.
Great. Great.
The music helped me a lot in relaxing, because I like music. And I was remembering a similar kind of music, Coming Back to Life by Pink Floyd, so which I used to listen in the morning, and it made me relax quite a lot. And I felt very, you know, untensed and very relaxed.
Great. Great. Thank you. Yes, every meditation is different, has totally different music, totally different tones, totally different words. And some, like I said, are more energizing than others, and some are just very relaxing. And they're different. They're not all 5 minutes. There's 11 minutes. There's longer ones too. But in this busy world, I think we all appreciate having something that can shift our state of mind in 5 minutes, right? So thank you all for sharing. I appreciate it. Okay, it's time for your questions. So what questions do you have for me? I guess I could come back out again. So the reason I wait until after the meditation for the questions is because the quality of the questions is completely different before and after. You know, we're in a different state of mind, aren't we? And the questions are just different. So I'm sure you have some questions. Who would have some? Yes.
Marliza, I'm Alok. You spoke about coming to India, you said, 35 years ago. Right. And then you, after that, very quickly moved on to, you know, what you're doing currently. And something happened with you when you came down. So I was very intrigued and curious about what were some experiences that you had which you believe have been instrumental for you in your own journey? Just to learn from that.
There was a gap in time. There was the time where I did the study with all the masters in all the different locations. And then I became very successful. I married, a lot of different wonderful things happened in my life. That's when I went from being, producer and do all the different things that I did of films. And then the stress built up again, and I realized I hadn't finished my journey. And that's when I began pulling all that research together. So I stopped all the other work I did, and I began pulling all that together. And it gave me personally such a phenomenal experience that I had to dedicate my life to helping people realize the potential we have. Because if somebody who had the pain in their lives like I did, and could go from that to being as successful as I've become, then why should you have to spend the next 25 years of your life gathering all that information when I can give you the Cliff Notes and offer you a way to access it that could assist you in your life? Yeah. And then that was the next 15 years, was traveling the world, evolving the method and watching what happened to people. Because people, you teach me, because it's your potential. Watching, I'll just share a quick story with you. I was in Africa, and I was at a safari camp, and I had been asked to go there and train the staff. And one man came to my tent the first day, and he was weeping and crying. And it turned out he had been a history teacher in Zimbabwe. And they came and told him, "We don't like the history you're teaching. We need you to change it." And so he didn't want to. He knew he was teaching the right thing. They grabbed him, took him, put him in prison, and tortured him. And tortured him evidently horrifically. And so his students came and did something to help him escape, and he escaped. And he made it to Botswana, where I met him. And he was weeping and crying and said, "For 15 years, I have nightmares every night, and I can't sleep because I just keep seeing the torture. Can you help me?" And I said, "I don't know. I don't. But I know a lot of people have been helped. So I invite you to do it. Do it once a day, do it twice a day. Listen so that your mind understands what's happening as well. And then do the meditations." And I came back a week later, and he came running to my tent. "I sleep like a baby. I have hope in my life. I have hope in my life. I sleep now." Now, that's pretty amazing. Now, that can't happen just because I told him anything smart, right? No, it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with this human being was able to break through where we hold that kind of trauma in our lives, so much so that he could be in a different state of mind. How exquisite is that? And that's what's available to all of us, because we all have our own challenges, don't we? Tucked away somewhere. But this is a way that as we begin doing meditation and the different tools that we can do, it can bring us into our highest potential. And we want to be in that potential because that's how we find happiness, and that's how we share it with others. Because that energy field lives within us and gets shared with everybody around us, doesn't it? So that's a way that makes a difference for people. And that's just in closing what I want to say to you. Is that we've taken on for the mission of SOS Method, all of our team, to give 1 billion people access to an inspired mind and life by 2027. I know it's bold, and I know it's big, but, if you think about, and we're in different countries of the world now, and we also have a social impact program where we give for every person that gets a subscription, we give one. And so we work with nonprofits and a lot of different people, but it's all about all of us, isn't it? And to me, an inspired mind is what we offer each other through being the best that we can be. And that energy, remember I talked about that energy potential? That's what's going out from us. So as we get in a higher state of mind and allow that state of mind to move through us, We are bringing happiness and joy to everybody we meet. So it's as simple as your family, it's as simple as your relationships, and for all of you here, you touch a lot of people's lives. So there you have a way to impact a lot of people's lives, and I think that's really exciting. And so what we have done is made a special gift for all of you. And if you take a picture of this, then it will send you to a place where you'll get a free gift, where you can do SOS Method. You can try all the different meditations for yourself and see what it's like in your life and how it contributes to you. So I just want to say thank you, and I'll be here afterwards if you'd like to talk about anything. But it's been my great privilege in spending this time with you. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Carling. It was indeed a very great session. May I now request Ms. Mamta Vasan to give away the memento. May I please request all the dignitaries to kindly join us on the stage for a group photograph. Rajiv sir, Vijay Rai sir, Alok sir, Anand sir, Dr. VP Singh, Mr. R.S. Dabas.
For those of you in the room, the next event that we have is a labor laws, the changing statutory nature and labor laws. There's a 3-hour workshop that we have on the 6th of December in Delhi. So look out for news on that. And January onwards, we're starting a 6-month program for women networking, for women straight out of college into 15 years work experience called WINGS, Women Inspired to Network, Grow and Smile.
Well, what a session that was, ladies and gentlemen, and I would like to take this privilege to announce that I cannot feel lighter. I'm already very lightweighted. And I'm sure with all those who are feeling relaxed, I echo with them. And this session was actually needed. I believe in every one of us lives, let it be students, professionals, leaders, thought leaders, every one of us needs a break for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, where we can actually think, what are we going to do next? Rather thinking, what have we done so far? Because when we think, what are we going to do next? We are actually being progressive. And what have we done in the past will be taken care of by our subconscious. So, speaking about what are we going to do next, I would like to request Dr. Akhil Busrai amongst us, CEO Akhil Busrai Consulting, for the valedictory session. Ladies and gentlemen, with all your energies, Dr. Akhil Busrai.
After that relaxing session, to close a session like this is a challenge. Well, first of all, thank you very much. Is Prem around? I can't see Prem. Prem is not there? He's relaxing? So you had a lot of effect on people. But thank you, NHRDN, for inviting me today. It's a privilege to be back in the family, literally. And I was telling Dr. Singh, is Dr. Singh also gone? No, up here. That sometime when we meet amongst the fraternity, there's a sense of safety and a sense of togetherness which is very unique than sharing views, etc., at some common seminars. And I want to do exactly that share my thoughts on 3 topics or subtopics, very well chosen. One is, of course, on technology and engagement and happiness. When we talk of technology, and so many seminars and books and articles being written on technology, all praising technology as the New Testament, literally. The new wheel has been invented as if, like life was empty without that. I'm not against technology, and most of you know me, know that I embrace technology. But as a professional, I feel that sometimes we are swinging the pendulum to an extreme. A facilitation role of technology is not to be denied. And I like the table in the corner there, which mentioned about facilitator role of technology as an enabler. But when technology becomes the end in itself, then I think we as HR professionals, is it sound clear? Yes. We have to be careful. Sometimes it's a fad. I saw in one organization mood meters. How many of you are familiar with mood meters? Oh. And closed circuit TV and workplaces capturing expression of people, and then every 60 minutes or fixed interval giving out mood meter of the organization. I'm glad I don't have that at home, because that mood meter would be oscillating up and down all the time. But tell me, are we really serious about using this technology and such tools? As professionals, are we really, if we're toying with it once in a while, is a novelty, is all right. But if we're using that and tom-tomming about the town that, my organization has a mood meter, and, every 60, Anand, we talked about this when we last met, that every 60 minutes I know the mood of the organization. I sometimes wonder if we are losing our basic sanity, to use a strong word, in managing people. Or are we relying on technology to such an extent that we need technology to tell us how our employees are feeling? Now, yes, how they are feeling, how they are reacting to certain situation is good to use technology to find out. But if we are going to rely on such trivial use of technology, then we are going away from the very purpose and the very enabling factor that technology can be used for. So I'm glad that the team has organized a conference on a topic like this. And where is Davas? Davas is here? Davas is here. When we talk of engagement, the type of work that many of us are doing, coming to the next topic, is actually looking at people in terms of connection. And in that context, I want to touch upon a topic which I feel very strong about, is industrial relations. Industrial relations has become a low-end priority, a non-sexy part of HR job in many organizations. So most of the youngsters are actually shying away from spending any time whatsoever in a career in industrial relations. Whereas industrial relations, those of us who have experienced and are fortunate enough to experience it, have realized that it's a basic foundation of connecting with people. And that connection led to engagement, and that engagement was giving you a pulse, literal pulse of the organization. And we are losing that for some reason. People are hiding behind technology, connecting with them through impersonal. I'm not saying that technology is bad, so please don't misunderstand. But hiding behind technology and not connecting with the people through engagement and through employee relations is going to be a heavy price we are paying as a profession. The unfortunate incident happening in Manesar in one of the factories for the last 16 days. How many, Raju, 200 people? 300 people inside the plant? Some 300 people have actually squatted. I met Praveen yesterday, and 300 people are squatting inside the plant, surviving on milk, bread, and bananas. I'm not saying that the management is to be blamed. I'm not picking any company. But look at the way our people are going away from us. This morning I saw a photograph of a man, possibly somewhere in Maharashtra, because he was wearing a Marathi cap, standing on the bridge in Camps Corner in Bombay.